Hi, my name is Julie Gaylor. I'm a photographer based out of Little Rock, Arkansas, and today we're going to be talking about how to make window light even better with off-camera flash. Window light is the original portrait light. The reason for that is it's free, easily accessible, and what you see is what you get. Painters have been using it for centuries to create dramatic, lively, dynamic portraits of people over the ages. So what happens when we're looking for window light? We're wanting to jump right into just using a window because it seems like the easy solution for beautiful portrait light. But window light actually needs to be just perfect for the right portrait. We need the sunlight to be coming in the right direction. We need for it to be diffused. We need to make sure that we don't have things like trees making the light green from outside the window or bouncing off of asphalt and creating nasty uplighting on our subject. And so today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be analyzing the lighting in this room and wanting to build it and make it even better, taking what we have and then accenting it with off-camera flash to take it from good to great. Just a few things to consider as you're using window light are how window light behaves in the scene. So if we have our subject really close to the window, the light is going to hit her face and then fall off fast. And what we mean by fall off fast is it's going to go to the shadow area very quickly. So we're going to have that really dramatic line of light to shadow. As we move her away from the window, we're actually going to get more spread of light. The light is opening up more, and so we have less of that difference from the light to the shadow side. So you get to pick which one works for you. I prefer to bring in closer to the window because I love that dramatic look and I love sculpting with the shadows. The other thing that you want to watch is where on the window you place your subject. So you'll notice I have her farther back towards the window. This allows the entire window to be lighting her face and to give her a catch light in both eyes. The more that I move her forward, the less light is getting to the shadow side and the more that I have a split lighting look. You can choose what you like though. It gives you the variety to create multiple looks and multiple lighting patterns from the same window. So this first test shot, we can see the light is hitting her face nicely and we're getting a little bit of fill on the side of her face, but the background is going completely black. We can't see any of the books back in the background or any of the details that make this scene the dynamic scene that it is. Also, we're kind of losing out on the story of the window because she's kind of standing out in the middle of the room. So bringing her in closer to the window is not only going to give us a nice dramatic look to that light, but it's also going to allow her to root into the space and give us a little bit more of a story so that we can express something special with this portrait. So I'm going to have you come on over to the window and then you can just lightly touch with your hand right here. There you go. And then keep your nose turned towards the light. That way it's going to keep the light opened up on her face. So we're going to take that first shot here and we've placed the light on her face to give her flattering light using the window light that's there. But again, what's happening is the background is still falling off into that deep dark shadow. So what I'm going to do is take the FJ400 V2 with the Joel Grimes Beauty Dish in white, and I'm going to aim it at the background so that it's going to be gently lifting the shadows back here. I also want it to fall a little bit on the subject's hair because I want that separation so that I can see where my subject stops and where the background begins. And where I want the height to be is slightly above her height. And the reason for that is it's going to make sure that I have that hair light falling over the top of her head and giving me that nice rim all the way around. So I've got this right here, pointed into basically the corner of the room back here, which we couldn't see before, and now we're going to bring to light. One of the things I'm going to look for as well with that hair light is to make sure that I'm not getting any passing the side of her head and coming around to her nose. I don't want to highlight any of those features. I want to keep all of the attention on her face and not have any distracting bright highlights, just for it to be on the back of her hair. I'm going to start on lowest power. And I'm going to go ahead and take that first shot here, keeping my camera settings the same from the natural light shot. Now that I have added that light from the background, I can see all of the detail of the books and everything in the background, which is bringing this scene to light. Now you have some creative freedom here. You can have just a little bit of light, or you can simply adjust this light up a bit. I'm using Westcott's T1 touchscreen trigger, which makes the adjustments really easy. All I've got to do to take it from subtle dramatic to a lot punchier light is just touch the screen and hit the plus or minus key to increase or decrease the light coming from that back light. So I'm going to take another shot here. And now I have an even brighter, more contrasty scene just for 2 different looks. It gives you a lot of different variety. So I'm getting the most out of one situation. I can alter the poses as well to tell 2 different stories of the same lighting setup. As far as elevating this scene from just a standard portrait into a little bit more of a story, we've brought the book in, and now we're going to kind of change up the pose just a little bit. I want this to be more of a dynamic pose, to look a little bit more natural and like something she would be doing when she was reading the book. The key to this, though, is making sure that no matter what her body is doing, her face is turned back towards that beautiful window light so that we can see her face lit. So I'm going to have you come on over here to the window. There you go. And turn this way for me just a little bit. Perfect. And just push off that window just a little bit. And then maybe let's have you open the book. There you go. And go ahead and shift your weight onto this leg so that you can bend this leg a little bit. Yeah. And then I like to add the story to the shot as well. So you're reading the book, but you're thinking and daydreaming while you're doing this. You're going to kind of look dreamily out this window this way. There you go. Take the shot here. I really enjoy how off-camera flash gives me the flexibility to create in a space that might not have the ideal light. I can take something literally out of the shadows to create a beautiful portrait and those amazing details that make extra special images. So what we've done so far is we've taken good natural light in the window and we've made it even better into something amazing where we can see all of the details. But the next thing we're going to do is actually, what if the window light isn't cooperating? What if it's a cloudy day? Or what if the sun is coming in and out and messing with our lighting so that we're getting all sorts of inconsistent results? We actually have a fix for that. We can bring our FJ400 V2 around to the front and create the natural looking window light with just one light. My lighting style is really cinematic. I want it to be based on looking like the light that you would find in the scene. So instead of placing this light over opposite to lift the shadows and create 2 directions of light, I want to reinforce the story of the light coming from the window. And I'm going to move my light as close as I can to the window and then raise it up slightly above eye level to sort of mimic the direction of beautiful window light. What I'm going to do is set the light to expose for the details in the window so that I can see all the panes and everything and that nothing is blown out in the window. Then I'm going to add my flash exposure to that. So the first shot that I'm going to take is just so that I can see the details that are present in the scene. And now that I have those details, just with a touch on the T1 trigger, I can turn on my light and start bringing in the light to the scene, my window light. All right, here we go. And as you can see, this first shot that I've taken has just a little bit of reflection in the glasses. And when that happens, the easiest trick that I find for that is simply to raise my light up a little bit higher. That's caused by the angle of reflectance. And as long as I change that angle by raising the light and having her lean forward just a little bit, it's just like a mirror. If it can't see you, then you're going to disappear. So we're going to make that reflection disappear by raising this up just a little bit more. And now I'm going to have you lean into this window just a little bit and then bring your shoulders forward for me and then your chin down just a hair. And then we won't have any reflection. Hopefully you have some new inspiration for how off-camera flash can boost your window light. You can bring in the light in the background to lift the shadows and give you more details in the background. Or when the window light isn't ideal, you can shift around to the front and create window light on your own and shape it the way that you want. The nice thing about understanding and using off-camera flash is that it unlocks the full creative potential so that you choose what you want to create and how you want to sculpt your portrait with window light.